Click the button. Whoa! Hopefully that worked. How are you doing, guys? Welcome back. Today we have a Honda Accord. We're going to be doing ceramic on everything but the windshield. So all the sides and back we're going to be doing 20%, which is very common around here. People love 20%. I do too. So it's going to look good. Not a ton crazy about this car. I mean, you've got your typical deck lid with a third brake light, pretty regular doors, nice open back quarters. Not a lot to say about specifics on this car. Just if you get one, you'll be good. You'll be good. Ooh, audio. Can we adjust that a little bit? Oh wait, does that change my whole? Oh my gosh. Oh, maybe that's why it did that. Huh. So the question is, where do I put my own audio, and then where do I put the voice audio, and then where do I put this audio and that audio? So, that needs to be louder. I think we're going to put that back up. And then that should work for the alerts. Whoa! Well, I guess we'll maybe find out here. We'll let that kick in. How y'all doing? Already with the super chat. There it is.
Swallow Gang super chatted
Swolgang.
$4.99.
Swolgang with a 5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. You have an awesome username. I like the way that the voice says it. Swollygang. Also, tinting in the shop. Love your content. Thank you. I'm still getting used to this monitor setup. I switch things around because I've got that one over there too. I used to have all the chat on this one right here. So I'm just getting used to like this. It should be the other way around, but then it'd screw with that monitor. So where's my audio again? All right, we gotta change this. How do we do that? We got a little bit of time, so we're going to jump into this here pretty soon. And then we can we lower the alert volume? I don't know if we need to. Okay, I'll keep an eye on it. Put it down just a little bit. Chat will be there, and then headphone volume will be right about there. Okay. It's like if you start messing with your audio, it's incredibly frustrating to like readjust because the way that it's set up is I can't really look at it. It's just kind of like all over the place. Oh, but I can turn that up, so that might help. Good morning. You guys ready for some ceramic today? I hope so. I'm catching up on coffee. I totally forgot to charge this little microphone here. So that's annoying because now that messes with some things. But it looks like everything's going to be okay. So that's good news. So we got to go grab our tool belt, get set up, which we mostly are because now we don't have to like move things around. So that's awesome. Let's put on this crazy thing. And see, I don't think I can say GoPro and have it switch yet. Not until this battery charges some. Do all ceramics have the hazy look? That's a great question. No, they don't. The higher quality the ceramic, the less haze you will have. That's why I never recommend going cheap. If you're going to go, like, a cheap dyed, honestly, is going to be more clear than a cheap ceramic. So, what would you rather have, clarity or hazy? But, yeah, get a high-quality ceramic, and you'll be really happy with it. That's what we're doing on this. Do you pay for your Google My Business to get more calls, or just let them find you organically? It seemed to slow down. I don't pay for any of it right now, but it's not anything like it's a good thing. It's a good thing to pay for like Google search and work on all that. Whoa. Okay. Huh. Okay, well, we disabled that. Like I said, I've got a little bit of an issue with... Let me adjust my mic here a little bit. Okay, so that should be decent enough, I think. Do I need a peel board? No. No, definitely not. They're helpful, but I never had one. Looking for a good ceramic. Well, you might want to check out this stuff. So we're going to be using GeoShield Pro Nano here. We're going to be using 20%. So if you like this stuff, maybe this might be the right ceramic for you. All right, let's get set up here. But yeah, as far as Google My Business goes, you know, I was paying for some Facebook advertising, and there's definitely pros to all of it. You'll get more leads. But you have to be doing really something to stand out. So, I mean, I don't think I would have the business that I have right now without streaming. So that's kind of like my little trade-off there. Good customer service, referrals, like the referral part is really what helps you grow your business a lot. So getting cold leads through like advertising is great, and then from there, those people that you really like impress, those are going to be your referrals for more business, and that's really how your business grows. Or with advertising, you just look really, like, if you have a good, clean, impressive site, hard part is standing out from other people that are doing exactly what you're doing. Do you let the back seats down? I don't think we are. We might have to remove some headrests, but that's about it. So we're just going to get this prepped, so that includes glass aid on the back, and then whatever we do for the surface for dry shrinking. Where's the start of this? There we go. But yeah, it's been fun to play around with advertising. And it's slow too. So, like when we would boost things on Facebook to get leads pretty quickly. But there's a lot of that is just so many like inquiries, and then that just never panned out. It's not that it's not worth it to have all those things going. It definitely is. The more leads, the more opportunities that you make for yourself. What's tricky though is like sometimes seeing those things pan out, like streaming. If I had told you 6 months my full impression of like what live streaming is like for your business, like 6 months didn't do much for me at all in terms of like generating business and stuff. Now here we are like over a year later, and it's doing a fair amount more. So just building a tint business, it just weather it out. It takes time to generate all of that. Other than the white tape, anything else you would recommend? For a back window, either dryer sheets or dry shrink prep. Those are really good options for doing a back window. And then on the inside, I'll use a clay bar, and sometimes I'll use a scrub pad too. I'm starting to bring the scrub pad back a little bit. I'm kind of just like going all out, like scrubby, wipe off the top, clay bar the top. You know, oh man, that was a really funny one. Sorry, the sounds are gonna have to be delayed a little bit, or like muted, because it's like screwing with my audio right now. I don't have the same mic right now. But LKB, thank you so much for the 2. Like, I was just laughing because I got this one comment that above it that's like, what ceramic tint would you, could you buy for yourself to install? And then followed up by LKB being like, it's been a minute, what's good, pimpin'? This is so great. Thank you so much for the 2. How you doing? Ceramic that you can buy for yourself? Go to, that's what, like Tint Depot, or you can go to Sun Distributing. You know, that's a tricky thing, because just buying like a high quality ceramic in like low quantities isn't really that easy to do. That's one reason I like Tint Depot. They sometimes can make stuff like that happen. They're more retail focused. But there's a lot of like whatever ceramics on eBay and Amazon that just are kind of like whatever. What's the name of the tape you use? This stuff is called Glassade. It's out of stock. Hopefully it'll be back soon though. Yeah, these quarter windows are way easier than some of like the on the Civics. You got the front quarters and then the back quarters, and the Accords are just like this one, really straightforward. I forgot to stock up on tape yesterday, so we're just gonna kind of go with what we have. This was like the best of the packing tapes that I used, so this works, but it doesn't stick quite as good, but it'll still get the job done. I have like a little bit left. I don't know if I have quite enough, so I guess I'll just use what I have on here, but it's pretty sure this is gonna run out, and then we'll come back to that. Whoa! Morning, Matt. Looking forward to my appointment tomorrow with you. Oh, that's awesome. What are we tinting for you? Oh God, do I have another one I gotta stream? That's so cool. This one, like, I'm starting to like. I think I'm almost gonna have to ask people if they want their cars streamed or not, because this one was one of those surprises to me where it was just like they were asking about the streaming a little bit too, and I was like, oh, awesome. 17 Fusion, all right, we can definitely do that. And then it's just like I said, I've been seeing it more and more, and I was so used to it not being a thing, and now it's starting to become more of a thing, so that's super cool. 17 Fusion. What time are we doing it? As you can see, I have such a good gauge on my schedule. These are some of the fastest cars. Pop the seals out and be done in 30 minutes. Well, if you don't pop the seals, you'd be done in 25 minutes. Are we out? We're so close to being out. I think 10, probably 10. Yeah, we either take usually right now at 10 or like a 1 o'clock. So sounds right to me. That's awesome. All right, guys, we know what stream we'll be doing tomorrow then. We've got another 10 o'clock tomorrow. It's going to be on a 17 Fusion. That helps. I need to keep better track of that. You ever get trash in tint or little bubbles? Yeah, absolutely. It's usually just like you just redo it at that point. I mean, you're always going to have something small, that you can like kind of point at, but it should be pretty minor, never like groups of stuff and just, you know, there's, yeah, we're out, dang. However, well, popping, but those are two completely different things. Popping the, sorry, I got like two trains of thought going here. But yeah, so you're especially gonna get dirt in the beginning. It really comes down to like your installation. Popping panels is, but to that other one, popping panels takes way less time than taping side channels. That is probably true, but they're, like, for me, they're two completely different things. If I was popping bottom panels, I'd still be taping the sides here. It's just a difference of installation. But everybody's got their own thing. People always like to... It's like the number one thing that I hear about popping panels is like the time factor. We're not about saving the most amount of time on this channel anymore. We were about like getting through stuff and saving time and whatnot. Here we get things done within a couple of hours. Sometimes we'll spend a little bit more time depending on the car, or we run into like a little issue. But we do things to like not take apart the car, and good tint job, and just that little extra detail on it. Finally get to catch a live stream. Woo! People are waking up. So we have the ding, ding, ding. Do I need to push you again? I do. No radio. Let's make sure that's all the way down. So it's interesting. We got tuck tape on one side, and we have the packing tape on the other. Tuck tape just has a little extra stick and a little extra width. But these being nice, clean rubber gaskets anyways is like, this isn't gonna do a whole lot. It's just a thing we do now. But yeah, sometimes I've noticed the most important part to keep on the tape is the bottom, because if that starts to flip up, it'll streak like a glue line up your whole window, and you don't want that. We're going to the S&P 400 mid-cap. I know it. And then the stock goes down, because that's what it does. You're right about removing gaskets most of the time, but these are hands down the easiest panels to pop. Bottom loading always gives me a cleaner job and I avoid creases in the bottom. Well, that's cool. Seems to not clean frameless doors good enough to get lots of dirt of the Toyota. I can't read long. Sometimes I need to read faster. That's why I have a text-to-speech. Sometimes I miss that stuff. Yeah, I'm sure these are easy. Like, there's a good number of them that are just like, doot, and then pop it out, and then you're moving on. It's just always funny to me that, like, it's like a recurring thing in every stream. I don't take something out, and then there's always like, this would be way faster if you just removed it. And I'm just like, I know, okay, in a way, sure, that's what you do. That's not what I do. Fire sale. It is. Alright. Seem to not clean frameless doors good enough to get a lot of dirt. Can't seem to clean quarter windows, and apparently the Toyota really likes to... Oh, there's just a lot of things said in there. Toyota really likes to store dirt and fun. Toyota Corolla. Does that have like the rubber gasket quarter windows? So there's like a difference on quarter windows. This one just has like a dot matrix border. And on like something like the newer Camrys, I know they have the rubber gasket seals, which are super annoying. But I don't remember on the Corollas if they're the same way. Oh, we did put it over there. Oh God, I just can't.
Swallow Super Chat.
We gotta stop streaming at 10 o'clock in the morning. But we got another one tomorrow. I just need to wake up. Swole Gang with another 5. Off to work we go. I'll watch this later. No! Skip work. Watch now. Or just leave it on your phone. Thank you so much for the 5. Did it pop up? Oh, we're not getting alerts. That's why. I was waiting for that. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Have a good one. New ceramic rolls. Or heavy rolls. Not quite as slippery as their carbon, though. Their carbon likes to try and run away from me. We should change some blades, too. Yeah, we're definitely going to change some blades. I'm being more organized now, and it's great. I've only done it for a day, though, so give me time to make it all messy again. I think I'm gonna put my checkout thing here, because this is fun. This is just... I don't have Square. I use, like, the PayPal one. But PayPal only has like these simple little card readers and stuff. And like it all works fine, and I like it because it gives you the money like right away. But the Square has like Square and Clover and other ones, they have like the little like tablet terminal things, and that would be such a good place to put it. But I'd have to change completely. Oh, this is new. Corolla has the rubber seals. Yeah, those are no fun. Those you'll be doing for a little while. You gotta like flush them out a bunch. All right, new blades. Good, good. Let's pop those together. And we can make these just a little bit wider too, because we got a lot of room to play with on the inside. Sometimes it's good to overshoot. Make sure all those gaps are taken care of and more. Oh, that one sounded fun. Ew, what? Ooh, this shifts over a lot. Dang, I don't like that at all. Look at this shift on that. It's got a little high pitch, like beep. So, this one, usually don't see this that much on front doors. So, I don't know. Try and make a little wet line there or something, and then we'll roll it down. And now we shift it out about that far. So, and it goes, so it tapers, starts flush, and it just kind of comes up to about 1/4 of an inch far away. So you can see all that. Look at all that play that window's got. So it's a good thing that we actually went wider. I'm gonna make that back edge even farther back though. That's what I'm gonna change on it. So I had it kind of like positioned a little bit more on the front edge, but it shifts into it and out of the seal. So I'm just gonna make sure. So that way when we roll windows down, there's like no gaps there either. It's been months since I haven't received my tools I ordered from your website. Oh, that's no good. Shoot us an email, mytintstuff@gmail, and we'll definitely straighten it out. Could have been a shipping problem? I don't know, because everything is marked as fulfilled, so let us know. Shoot us an email, mytintstuff@gmail. Basically responds to the same one that you should have got a tracking number from. We'll figure it out. I have no tracking number. You definitely should. Yeah, shoot us an email, mytintstuff@gmail.com. Add your name and the order number if you can. I can look up by name, but it helps to also have the order number. Definitely should have had an order confirmation, so we'll get it. We'll get it. Can you do all the cutting on a Tesla Model 3 on the outside of the car? Or do you need a peel board? I actually did a full Model 3 live. Everything was done. So that's a car I am a little sketched out cutting on the car, mostly because Tesla glass is a little soft. I don't know why, but it is. So you could like round your corners and stuff and then use something to protect the bottom. But just be careful on that. There was like, when the Model 3 first came out, I saw quite a few posts on people scratching those. That was not great to see. Maybe they've beefed up their glass too, because they also had crummy defrosters in the first ones, but now they changed up the defrosters for the newer ones, so like they're making improvements, so maybe they're better now. Thoughts on Omnique? I don't know where they source their film. I'm guessing just China, but it shrunk. Like the ones that I've messed with, they shrank fine. They looked really cool when they're installed, and they don't last all that long. So, I don't know. They're like, it's one of those like really cool things that I'd like to work. But unfortunately, it's like, I don't know how long that they're gonna last. So if people want to bring that type of film in here, I'm more than happy to install it for them, and then it's just kind of like at your own risk type of thing. It seems to be the best way for me to handle that. I wanted to stock stuff like that and just like offer some crazy colors and whatnot, but I don't want somebody to come in here and think that it's gonna last for 3 years, and then, because that's their warranties too. They fade. So there was somebody that got the gold one and it faded inside of like 8 or 9 months. We got a full video on the channel. We did it last year. And then I've seen some other posts of like there was like a pinkish one, or I think it was supposed to be red or something, and like 3 months later it was already completely different. So they're just not long-lasting films. They're like for like car shows and not outside. Unfortunately. I've been tinting outside, just terrible, way harder. Oh yeah, for sure. I've tinted maybe, I could probably count the numbers of things that I've tinted on one hand outside. Very, very little things have I ever done outside. Wind is a problem. And, you know, sunshine, believe it or not, is a problem. Heat, it'll dry out the windows faster. You'll just have your tint get blown off the car. So when people say they don't have a garage to tint out of, and then they're trying to practice like in their driveway or something, man, you're getting a really wrong, you're just making things so tough on yourself. Gotta try and find some space. Opinions on Suntech ceramic? I haven't looked at it in a long time, so I don't know. Have you tinted home windows? No. No, I did one architectural job a long time ago. I think I've done like... Oh, you know what? I have done a handful of house windows, but I did them in like auto film. And this was like years ago. I did them like an auto tinter too, so... Basically, I never had much interest in going to people's homes for window tinting. But if you want to kind of just take on architectural along with auto, it's a really, really good business. There's just a little bit more to it in terms of like running around and unique situations, I guess, because you're working in people's homes. So it's like, I mean, they'll be somewhat accommodating. I mean, if they have shit in the way, then you have to kind of figure out how to like reshuffle and stuff like that. But, you know, there can be windows that are really high up in the air and you gotta bring in scaffolding. A lot of people will actually use that scaffolding that I have sitting over there. So you gotta disassemble, reassemble indoors. But you charge per the square foot and there's no shrinking involved, and like, so you can knock out a lot of work pretty quick. If you know what you're doing, you can make a lot of money in architectural. Hopefully we see some people doing some more architectural stuff. Getting into it was what I really had a question with, was like, how do you market architectural? And it seems like some people that are doing it pretty successfully start kind of more in the auto, and then they let their clients know that they also do architectural, or when they have inquiries on it, then they knock it out. So they get like basically the people that already know them for the auto work, they go out and start doing their houses. And the interesting thing about doing architectural is like, it's like seeing somebody getting their driveway redone. Like, you have a company in the area that's refinishing a driveway or completely repaving a driveway or whatever else. And then you'll get so many other people in the neighborhood just start asking about it, so it kind of branches out from there. Or it has the potential to. neighbors talk to neighbors, so. Does this tint look good on black cars? This tint looks good on everything. Architectural seems like a nice niche. It really is. It's like, I mean, you have auto businesses. Put it in perspective. There can be you can have like a decent auto company do like, I don't know, anywhere like on the lower end. I'd say like I'm talking about more than one person out of a shop. I'm talking about like a small crew and relatively busy busy business. They'll do, you know, 3 to 500,000 in a year. They can definitely do more than that. You can do upwards of like, you know, $1 million or something like that when you start getting into a couple of shops or just like adding more services and stuff. And with a good busy architectural business, you'll be doing in the millions. And it's easier to train people too, I think, because everything's basically the same. So there's a lot more companies ready to do auto work, and auto is just kind of an easier thing to get into, but a harder skill to learn. Architectural is a more unique thing to get into, but an easier thing to learn. And then once you scale that, then you're going to be making good money. I set up my TintWiz account last night. I can't believe I went this long without it. So easy to use. Oh, that's so cool to hear. That's awesome. Glad you like it. Yeah, TintWiz is great. I use it for all my invoices and proposals and stuff. I don't have a lot of experience in the CRM space, so I haven't like looked into a bunch of them. I just know that it works well, and it's specific to this field, which is super niche. But what's cool is like they have all the cars in there. You can specify shades on which parts of the vehicle, so it's kind of like they get this drag and drop or drag down menu, and then you can put in like, I did the front doors in this film, and they have it pre-programmed to like bring up info about stuff, about like particular films and whatnot, and you can change it. So it's definitely a big bonus. Let's start a tint podcast called Tint Talk, architectural automotive mashup. You know, there was actually somebody that was doing a tint podcast called Tint Talk. I think there's like a few episodes of it, but the owner of TintWiz, Eric, he actually he does a weekly podcast. He usually interviews other automotive or other tint shops, like the owners or people that work there and stuff like that. So usually does it like every Thursday. He's done a whole bunch of them. So the TintWiz YouTube channel, he'll re-upload it there, but they usually go live on Facebook. I think some people started like a Clubhouse one too. He hasn't done one in a long time? Oh, really? That's unfortunate. Play bar, where did I put that? Oh, I don't have to move my stuff anymore. This is weird for me. You usually have to like unpack and then pack up and do a whole bunch of this and that. I stuffed 2 clay bars in here, so they're gonna like stick together. I gotta find a space for my towels. I think I'm gonna put a washer and dryer over there. I just haven't contacted a plumber yet to do it. Clubhouse is great in there every Thursday. Great info. That's cool. I have to check it out. I keep forgetting about it. What I would love to see is that type of thing in the Facebook groups, because like everybody already hangs out kind of in the Facebook groups, or that's where the most community is. But for whatever reason, Facebook doesn't have that type of a thing. Not exactly. You can go live and you can add people and have comments and stuff, but it's not the same thing. They need like just a passive chat. Did they find a replacement for the glass shop? Unfortunately, no. So they just like aren't doing tint right now, so Facebook just started something like Clubhouse. What? Really? How do I do that? How do I make that happen? That sounds awesome. Our window tint group has grown like a ridiculous amount. Ooh, I want a scrubby. Where's my scrubby? That's why I haven't made a Discord. It's like, there's certain tinters that understand and know Discord, but Discord's way more like endemic to gaming. There we go. But yeah, that would be super cool. I would love to see some sort of like Discord like Facebook group thing, or I would love to see Facebook groups come to YouTube. Any of those would be great, because YouTube is great for an individual creator, but really bad for community interaction, unless you're like live streaming and stuff. But when you're not streaming, it's kind of just, there's no community features. Not really. Like, I mean, I can make a community post, but that's like making a video post in a way. Facebook groups are great, and I can live stream in there. Cool. But then there's no YouTubiness after the fact. Like, videos get washed down a feed, and so it's like they both have their strengths. But a casual Discord chat-like thing on Facebook would be great. They tried with Rooms, but Rooms was funny. TikTok? No, I haven't done that. It's spreading myself a little bit thin on content. I think there's things that I could do. Like, honestly, I will probably end up putting a little bit more effort into doing like some shorts, which is essentially, you could cross-post those too, and that would be totally fine. But I don't really have, like, I'd have to make something specific for it. There isn't really much that happens out of here that seem to fit it. It's got to be really, like, I don't know, eye-catching. Or just sped up, I guess. Or if you got some good angles of like water being squeegeed out or something, I don't know. Or like a torch. So, I don't know. Those are just some ideas that I had for it. Or if I want to take maple syrup in a saran wrap and then tint a window that way. Stuff like that does well. It was cool though. We had a post in the Facebook group kind of blow up like that, which was super neat to see. Somebody took a TikTok and then they reposted the video in the group, and it's gotten over 2 million views, which is crazy, on Facebook in the tint group. So what that tells me is that the group has an opportunity for people to kind of go viral in a Facebook way. The one where he rolled the window down. Yeah, yep. It was great. It was like, it was just such a perfect point. It was really bad quality too. But yeah, you just take, I mean, there's a number of ways to set it up like that, but it looks super fun. It was just like, yeah, you just spray it and just roll it up and it squeegees all the water out. There you go. I would love to see it from the outside, though. That's going to be full of air streaks. People have been trying to remake that video. Yep, and then you got to, like, iterate on it, too, in a way that's going to be entertaining. So I thought it'd be cool to, like, see, it's got to have the right type of like wow factor and like relatability and stuff, and there's it's tough to come up with a bunch of ideas for it, which is why I haven't like thought about doing it that much. But something with like the torch, that would be like shrinking a back window with the torch from a few different perspectives. Like you put a camera directly on the heat gun or on the torch, or you could set it up in a way that's just like shows the film laying down really smooth very quickly. Stuff like that might have the chance of doing well. And then on I noticed for Instagram, somebody literally just like there was a channel, they would have regular tint content, and then they posted a video of just an architectural, just a flat window getting tinted at like 30 times speed. And then that did a few million views on Instagram. Like, what? Okay. Is 27% close to 20%? It's 7% off. So for like matching, the 20 is definitely going to be noticeably darker. So it really just kind of depends if that's like, that's what the question kind of sounds like. So I've done, like you meter the back on like a truck or SUV, and it's one of those ones that meters light. And then you tint the front in 20. The front doors are going to look darker on the inside. And then on the outside, they'll look relatively close because you have that like light pouring in through the windshield. I like this blade. I want to put 27% all the way and 27% brow. Oh, just like straight up, no tint on it, go 27. You're not going to be able to find it. Nobody, maybe. Like you'll be able to find 30 or something, but usually you can't find tint that specific. Like it's kind of weird. You would think that we would be able to have like every type of gradient, but we can't. So this like an enormously loaded topic, unfortunately. But basically, you know, a film company will have only so many lines of film. So they'll have like a carbon, a ceramic, a dyed, and then sometimes they'll have like a variety, like a couple different ceramics to pick from or whatever. But what we can't choose as installers is the hue of the film or what shades, like exactly the shade that we want. So they'll have a list of shades that they have available, and they'll keep inventory based on what's most popular. So they'll have typically 5, 15, 20, 35, 40, 50, and 70. Like, that's more normal. And then it kind of gets whittled down to 50, 35, 20, and 5. And sometimes they'll have some in-betweens there. So, like, I don't even have the option in anybody to pick 27. And then when you get the film, it's like, okay, I'll get your 20% to match this 20% factory, and then theirs is like brown and the factory is like green. This is like peeling the onion. Yeah, even if you found 27% and you metered it on the glass, it wouldn't be 27. You're exactly right. You'd be closer by putting like 35 or 30. Definitely 30. You'd be closer to that 27, although it'd probably go just a little bit darker. When you get into, this is what is funny, when you get into numbers with window tint, it doesn't even matter as much. It's kind of like a ballpark. It's more like, what look are you going for? Because then time of day, sunlight, interior color, all that impact what the film looks like too. That turned into like a whole loaded thing, but that's like what goes off in my brain when it gets mentioned. It's like, well, and then So when somebody's like, I just want 2 doors to match, I'll usually just say, yeah, no problem. Because if you go too deep with that one, it's just like they almost think that whatever they're putting on their car isn't going to match anymore. And it's like, no, it will. It's just going to be like, I could tell a difference between the two. You might just look at it and go, oh yeah, it looks great, thanks, bye. That's where it gets tricky. We use 35. Legal is 28, but that conversation is so hard. That conversation is so hard with customers. Yeah, 100%. They're like, yeah, I want 28%. And you're like, yeah, sure. Okay, gotcha. It's just, there's so much to it. It's like when people ask, does ceramic keep my car cooler? And it's like, yeah, it does, but maybe not in quite the way that you think right off the bat, but you will really, really like it. I have the same problem in Utah. Legal is 43, and the closest I can get is 50. Yep, and depending on the glass that you're installing it on, you'll be like right in that ballpark. You want it dark but legal. It's like some people will just get into this, like it's hard to explain this. They're almost hoping that there's something magical that you can do that'll make their car look darker than it actually is percentage-wise. So like when somebody goes up to meter it, it's just like doesn't show any tint, but then it looks dark. The dark but legal thing is funny. My car sits in the parking lot all day. I'm at work. Will this tint make my car cool? Sit down, sir. We need to talk. Yep. Yeah, exactly. I wish it was as simple as, yes, it will. But there's like ignorant salespeople that will just kind of say that. But I'm always on the fence where it's like, yeah, it will. But yeah, not in the same way. But the best way to illustrate it is the heat lamp. When you show people the heat lamp, that's what helps really get your point across. Because it's like, this is what it does, but your car still has metal and stuff, and it's hot outside. It's not gonna go cooler than the outside temperature. It's an oven. Reason I asked earlier, South Carolina's legal percentage is 27, so I just say I want the darkest legal. There you go. Yes. Exactly. Okay, that makes way more sense. Here, like, I forget about percentages in other states because here we have a very blanket thing. It's as dark as you want on the back and top 4 inches on the front and top 4 inches on the windshield, unless you have a doctor's note. So our laws have nothing to do with shades. So hearing like 27 is like really funny to me because like who even came like in a political position to write that? Who even thought that 27 was like, did they go out to their car and like it was already tinted and then they're just like, hey, can you find out what that tint is? Because I don't want that to be illegal, but anything darker than that. Like what? It doesn't even make any sense. 27, 28. They probably had 35 on their car and then they just In South Carolina, nobody cares. I'm in South Carolina too. Well, there you go. All right. God, I just want to take a break. Canon. Oh, I don't have that. My mic is charging. I thought I did. It's 11:30? What? What happened to the time? How long have we been streaming for? Where's an hour? Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. I thought it was still like, I thought it was almost 11. Coffee. Yeah. Here we just say coffee. But you definitely live on coffee. I know better safe than sorry if you refuse to pay to get it removed if I get a ticket. I really just want 5% all around. Deep down, that's what we all want. We all want blackout without the effects of blackout.
Boss super chatted $69.83. Hi Matt and chat. Sorry I have been absent the past couple of streams. How are we doing today? What's new?
Oh, that's a big one. Click, click, click. Oh, I missed it. Boss! Sorry, we're having audio problems too right now. Boss with the 50. Good to see you, man. Sorry I've been absent the past couple of streams. No worries. How are we doing today? What's new? We got a ceramic job here. Thank you so much for the 50. That's crazy. Things are going well. Just had a vacation, so I've been gone too. What's your setup for YouTube streaming? That's a pretty cool setup. Thank you. I like to talk about it too. So I have a Canon right here. That's kind of like my main just angle out into the shop. And then I'm on a GoPro 8. And I put that on a wireless HDMI transmitter. So that's kind of the crazy headgear setup. It's the only way that I could actually kind of walk around and do everything that I need to do and still stream. And then all your comments are read to me. What are you charging for this one? This one's $450. Which soft card do you recommend? Ooh. You know, I haven't been asked that question. Oh god, I got, sorry, hair falling in my eye. I always like the gray lid codes, but I have a couple of like soft 3M ones right now. They're both really good. So anything kind of in that range of like 3M or Lidco, they're all really good. I use them for like light to medium touch-ups. That's what I use them for most. They got like, so I have one here actually. So this is the blue one. This one says 3M on it. Really soft and flexible. And I'll use these corners. So like if I have like a small touch-up or something, these are great for working out the air without putting hardly any impression in the film. And then I'll go a step above that with like a gator blade, kind of like a little chiseler. So like those are really for like soft touch-ups. And then I use tri-edges for like medium touch-ups. And then if you really just want to like crush something out, then I use like a gator blade for that. So I have the blue one and I have a gold one. It was nice. I went to Sun Distributing and I got to, they have all the tools. On shelves right there, so you can kind of like, you get to touch everything. Just like, ooh, what's this one? Oh, I like this. And then I filled up like a grocery cart full of stuff. Which is funny because it literally only filled up that box. I was gonna make a display wall, and I bought $1,000 worth of tools, like $1,200 worth of tools, but I should have bought like $5,000 worth of tools. Daniel Reyna with the 10. Good morning. What time is it over there? It's earlier over there than it is here.
Daniel
Thank you so much.
$9.99. Good morning, master. Kumu Stapo.
This is the best squeegee blade. The place has got to be as bad as a Snap-on truck. Oh yeah, it's exactly like walking into a Snap-on truck. Any of those tool trucks that's just like littered with everything that you want. Oh man. And then they put you on a monthly. But I don't think, Sun Distributing might have some sort of like a credit thing. But man, I remember those tool trucks so well. Because when I was getting into automotive accessories, yeah, that was like a highlight of the week. The tool truck would come around and like I would be borrowing everybody's tools. And then they're like, well, it's time that you start buying some of your own, so let's take a walk onto the truck. And then you're just like, this is all expensive. And they're like, oh, you can just pay me some cash weekly. And it's like, oh, really? Yeah, it's fine. And you know, if you fall a little short one week, don't sweat it. I'll find you. And you're like, haha, okay. And they're like, I'll find you. And you're like, oh, okay. And you walk off with like $1,000 toolbox. $20,000 later? Yeah, no shit. Which is funny because when people are like, people start talking about tint tools, it's like, man, you want to talk about expensive tools? Be a mechanic. You're just going to be spending like $500 to $1,000 on an impact gun. So I spend $1,000 and fill up an entire box with literally every tool that I could want, and doubles. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot in tint tools, but as far as tools go and setups, nah. No. It'll get way more expensive. But I'm gonna show this off a whole bunch of times, because I don't know who's here from yesterday, but there's always new people floating in and out. You want to see this drawer? This is my favorite drawer right now. I bought every regular squeegee. So we have Redline, which is right, you know, this doesn't make sense. Why did I do that? This should be like that. And then these should be here. Because then it just goes from hardest to softest. And then we also got the black squeegee people were asking me about. I haven't used this one. And then these ones, which just look like generic white squeegees, these are actually by the same people as Blue Max. So I guess this was Blue Max's answer to this one. So it's like we got all types of things to play around with. And then I saw that they had turbos. And I never really liked these squeegees, but I bought every color. Patrick was giving you sweet props on your setup yesterday. Oh, I appreciate that. You know, if he was commenting, I didn't see him commenting unless it was on Facebook. Facebook hides names, so I didn't realize he was even there. Pink Turbo is the best. Which one do... Funny you say that, because that's the one in my belt right now. It felt like it was the best. So I was kind of looking at, like, when I was feeling both of these, I was like, green, pink, or black one. It was on a stream last night. Oh, I see. Oh, that's cool. He went around to, like, Facebook groups and stuff. That's cool. Look, I just want to put them all there. So I even bought this one. So this is the Hornet PPF one. I kind of want to like chop this and try it as an automotive squeegee, just because. But I imagine it's going to be really similar to the hybrid. And so this one is the hybrid. So it's orange on one side, it's blue on the other. And the idea was that, hey, if you like Orange Crush and you like the Blue Max type thing, like that's what the hybrid was. It gives it to you on both. But this feels different than this. One looks significantly more glossy than the other one. Like this is more of like a flat finish to it, like a little bit more rubbery. This one is definitely smoother. So I want to say that these are molded different, but I don't know for sure. But I really like the hybrid. Really, really nice. That's what we're using right now. The next step is going to be setting up like a little station with like a vise that I can just trim off the edge of the hybrid. So that way it'll nick up, and I just want to keep it nice and clean for much longer. Does your Blue Max have little diamond shapes marked on the top of it? Yes, it does. Like, it's got that little, like, diamond-y impression in it? Yeah. Yeah. Same thing as the hybrid, really, but the feel's definitely different. But, so, a good reason why I bought so many different versions was, I want, like, I get so many questions about squeegees, and I've been messing around with some different ones, and like, which one do you like the best? So the goal is like, we can do direct comparisons between one tool and another tool on stream. So we're just kind of tinting this one like we normally do. But we're absolutely gonna get into like direct comparisons and stuff. So I even bought the Fusion heat gun. That's probably what my wife thinks when I talk about car stuff. Clueless. Yup. Yep, I go home and I rattle all this stuff off and she's like, okay. So anyways, can you like do the laundry or something? Yeah, that's always funny. He's just that's what's that's every tinner's wife. Yeah, exactly. The comments are funny. I tried to explain how the diff explodes at like 9 p.m. Yeah, and like shout out to Nick who helps book appointments. He's such a car guy, and he'll drive his wife crazy about car stuff all the time. Like, thinking about getting this one. What do you think about this one? And it's like, just like, whatever you want to get. That's why we have this. It's like, you can let all that out here. What was that other one? I think that's trying to... Sorry. Oh, yeah. Is the store open to the public? Yep, absolutely. That's one reason it looks so cool in there. Was like they actually wanted to like dress it up and like, hey, this is like where you can nerd out about tinting stuff. So unfortunately, there's only one, and it's all the way in Waterford, Michigan. So Sun Distributing, if you want to go check them out, you can just show up, you can walk in, and you can buy film, you can buy tools, and they love to talk to people about whatever. Where'd I get the tuck tape? Amazon. But I'm actually working with. We'll get something more available. Amazon's really available, but just something that you'll be able to find in like tint stores too. There's like if you need something right now, I've heard Tyvek tape by DuPont over in Home Depot or Lowe's or hardware stores. You can find that, and that's very, very similar. Tuck tape was recommended to me, so that's what we used first, and it's really, really good. It's just a Canadian thing, so it's harder to find. How many cars can you tint in a regular day? Not as many as I used to. I don't want to. I'm in that, like, we spend more time on one car and make it look better. But the way that I used to tint, like same style, just like a few shortcuts. And we've done it on stream too, where we've got a car done inside of an hour. But that's kind of where I was like pushing things. So doing like a full car in an hour, without like the full windshield, generally was like up to 5 to 6 full cars in a day. But I'm pretty topped out at that. I don't... Nah, I'm good. Purple tape from 3D, or from 3M. I remember that before. I remember we talked about 3D and then 3M. I think autocorrect's a thing. Yeah, there's a few of them that were mentioned, and looks like there's just a handful of good options across the board. You can even use like packing tape. Seems to work okay. It doesn't stick quite as nice. But it'll get the job done. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things. I really like something like the tuck tape the best right now, but I haven't tried the purple 3M, so. See, that's why we got so many squeegees too. It is 3D. Oh, I remember we had a conversation about that. Can you buy it locally, or do I gotta order it? When squeezing the film. When squeezing the film, when you lift and spray underneath. Oh, no, I'm not grabbing it in anywhere that's gonna show, and then you kind of want to just make sure that your fingertips are clean too. All that gets tucked down into the bottom, so like I'll just grab the very bottom of it and then I'll roll it up. I try to do whatever I can to not touch the film. So there's some installers, they'll grab the film from like the top corners off and then they'll like put it up. I don't like doing that at all. Leaves little impressions, or it has the chance to like leave little impressions in the film. It's a store for detailed products. I've never heard of them, so probably not, but maybe there is. I think as close as we get to like local detailing stuff is like there are bigger suppliers, but they don't really have retail stores, but you could like walk in and buy some stuff at the counter. Is the film on your site same prices? Yep, everything's same prices as GeoShield. It's fulfilled by them too. So you get same. Yeah, I haven't heard of them. Well, we got the doors done. We're not gonna get quarter windows out of this back glass, unfortunately. Those are too big. Dang it, Honda. The one thing that you could have done last, they like, what makes a car good for tinters? And then they made it. And then they just made their back glass a little too tall. So when I take a 36, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get this to fit on that. So close. But that's okay. I guess there's always something about every car. We'll see. Maybe we will. Probably not. How long do you take on a car? Okay, so at the glass shop, when I'm just like getting through work, it averaged about an hour and a half per car. What's an embarrassing story you've had about tinting? Cut a piece short, etc. Oh, I've definitely cut stuff. I messed up ceramic 3 times on stream. I had to reinstall the same window 3 times because it just kept messing it up. Stuff like that. That's probably like one of the most nerve-wracking things is like cutting top edges, and it's just like you just can't get it right that day, so you're just like scrapping film, just trying to do something simple like that. That's always really annoying. Dang, this looks good. I'm just checking it over before it locks up too much. It's looking really, really good. Did you wash the exterior? No, this was already super clean. But I don't normally ever wash a car before I tint it. Spraying it down would be a good thing. I used to do that, especially in like the wintertime. Cars would come in full of salt, and then you just give them a good rinse on the outside. That actually helps a lot. So if you have space to do that. It's a good extra thing that you can do. I kind of want to wait for like a more curvy back window, but I have like the fusion heat gun. Ooh, customer wanted 15, I put 5. Ooh, you know, on stream, I think I've done that too, where I put the wrong shade. There were times that chat saved me, and we almost did 35% on a windshield that we were supposed to do 70%. I messed up one of the windshields, and then grabbed the roll, put some film on there, cut it off, and was about to shrink it and go through the whole thing. And they're like, that film looks a little dark. And I was like, oh, wait, you're right. It is dark. That's no good. Don't want to do that. Yeah, I got that fusion heat gun, but I'm gonna have to. Oh, I gotta put their heat tape on it too. You know? Oh, sounded like somebody walked in. What are your thoughts on the 70? 70 is amazing for heat rejection. That's what's so cool about ceramic, is it gives you the opportunity to put the same type of heat rejection as a, I don't know, just any of the other shades, and then it doesn't look like it's tinted hardly at all. But you feel a difference. You feel a big difference. We did a few. We had an Escape on stream too. He went with 20 in the back and 70 on the front doors and the windshield. It just looked completely factory. But it definitely don't feel factory anymore. And then we did a Prius with 70 on the full. That was the one where I messed up the 35. How much did you charge for this one? This one is $450. All the sides and the back in ceramic. How much is an average price to charge for front windshield? They start here at $150. I usually cut a little break with like extra work. So I was doing windshields for $130, and I typically do. I meant this, oh, on the 70? Full windshield in ceramic would be $250, and then sometimes we'll do a little bit of a break with the rest of the vehicle. So generally it was like, you know, if you're getting a car tinted, it was like $130 for dyed, $160 for ceramic, or $160 for carbon, and $200 for ceramic. But what was that? Normally tint 5 in doors and back windows, 20 on windshields. There's no law in Panama. Ooh, I'm charging way too cheap. I'm charging $60. Ooh, that is real cheap. A good thing to do early on is make some phone calls around to competitors and just get a price, just get a general price for a vehicle. It's like, hey, how much is this? Then you kind of know where your market's at. So when other people, because you're going to get up a lot of cold calls, people that are just price shopping. So you're gonna want to know where the rest of the market is and then adjust. Doesn't mean you have to go cheaper, but there's already existing shops. This is the same thing with everything in business. There's going to be like a handful of dominant leaders in your area that have just been around longer, have good customer service, or, you know, usually that's the case. There's people that have been doing it longer than you, and you're trying to butt into their business. So you need to try and do things better than them, or be more attractive than them. So a simple way is people will just cut their pricing. It's a scary thing to do, though, early on, because that's setting the tone for most of your business. And what you'll find out is you'll build up a lot of referrals, and you'll build up a lot of cheap referrals that way. So another way to stand out is be creative. And that takes a lot of thinking and work and patience. So that's why there's so many people that just argue price. And then you got to get your customers to care. Or find ones that do. I think we didn't go all the way through there. That's where it went funny on me. Yep. Cool. Could have done this off of a 24 or a 20 rather than sacrificing a big strip of 36, but hey, it was there. But yeah, I still get plenty of people that call, and then I quote, and then they just hang up right away. So it takes time. Sending your customers thank you cards would probably be a huge hit. Yep, that works really well. There's a regular in chat who does that. Is this live? Nah, it's not. It's pre-recorded. It's pre-recorded, yeah, Burley 23. Pre-recorded. I knew your message was coming. I had a guy that $60 to tint his whole car. Well, I have a budget for a brand new house that's like $100, but doesn't mean I'll get it. Ask your customers for reviews. That is a very helpful tip. Something that I do not do that I should definitely do. There's so many of those little things that add up too. Oh, this does just pop out. I thought so, but it was being stubborn. It's got the little push button on the side, but it looked like they need to grease them up a little bit. So in this, you can see we've got space up here, and down there is where like the deck lid kind of slopes in here. It's still pretty straightforward. You just need the right tool for the job. So this is where a couple of things really shine. I love using the side swipe for a lot of back windows, and you guys know I use the bulldozer a bunch too. So get yourself a bulldozer, and then these green things are also a big help too. So this is, I think it's called the whale tail. Comes in a yellow version and a green version. Get the green version because the green version is softer. This thing looks all types of funny. It honestly doesn't seem like it would be super helpful. Like you just like shove it down the back window. Like what do you do? It's really soft and it rounds up on this edge. So you like hold it like this and just give it a clean swipe around the bottom, and it does a really good job of like forming to that space, and it'll fit in really tight spots. So highly recommend that thing. It'll get you out of some tough spots for sure. So both together, and you will be very, very good. And towel. Ooh, I got one of these. I unloaded the blazer. I'm still straightening up and organizing here. But I emptied the blazer for the last time, so I usually have some of that. Like I gotta put a spot for the dyed film now. I gotta make some extra shelves and whatnot. Get some more room. Oh, I already put the clay bar in here. How about that? We should use two. We should use one for the back window and a different one for the defrosters. Just because then I don't have to wash it off. Do you have any tips to tuck film faster or cleaner? The way to make it a little bit easier is just to cut things slimmer. So don't tuck as much film in the bottom and don't tuck as much film on the sides. Some people go crazy and go really far, but it just takes practice and patience. The other thing is just removing the seals, but that's not the same thing. So two different roads. It's good to know both. It really is. See, look at that brake light. Oh, that was loud. So what's cool is like even a brake light that like this, you can shove that all the way down to the very bottom of the glass.
Jose Rios Super Chicken $9.99. No matter how well I prep and cover stuff, I always get a bit of dirt specks.
Jose, thank you for the 10. I really appreciate that. No matter how well I prep, cover stuff, I always get a bit of dirt specks. I make sure hands are clean, etc. Is it because of my workspace? Usually no. Usually it's technique. If you go through my work, you'll be able to find a speck here or there. Especially when I'm kind of rushing. That's where I would definitely get some dirt specks. But like little things like taping the sides, that'll actually give you more of an advantage than not. And yeah, technique. It mostly comes down to technique. So the part where like environment could impact what you're doing is like ceiling fans and airflow. So if you're in an enclosed space, and you don't have like lots of airflow, so like a ceiling fan above your head or something like that, then your environment, it should be fine. I've tinted in many not so nice places and still put out good work. But it's not uncommon to have like if you ask any tinter, there's never going to be the perfect tint job. There's always going to be something that you can point to and go, oh, I don't like that. But it should be really minimal, and your customers should be really, really happy. So if you're making your customers happy, then like just keep shooting for perfection like you are, and you're doing great. Like it's easy to get stuck in your own head with a lot of that too. Like, so for example, there was he's a great tinter now, and in the beginning he didn't give himself enough credit. He would do a pretty decent job, and he would spend an hour doing touch-ups and fucking up the tint with how much he was tucking up the window. He would take a window that would be passable, and then he would destroy it, unfortunately, with like being overcritical on himself. And it's just like, when you go to buy a car from a dealership, there's flaws. You take it to go get it paint corrected, like details will like, hey, I picked up a car from a dealership. It should be perfect, right? Detailers would laugh you out of the shop. Or they'll explain it to you in a nice way if they have good customer service. But you know what I mean? You can always be overly critical, and there's just things that people aren't going to see that you're going to notice. So I can't tell you the number of times that I've been so overly critical on my own work, and then you walk out with a customer and you're like ecstatic to show them that you're like, this car is great, and then they just like, yeah, thanks, okay, cool, gotta go, appreciate the work, bye. And then you're just like, wait, what? So I totally went on a little longer of a tangent there, but yeah, it just keep shooting for perfection, keep aiming in that direction, and making customers happy, and you'll be doing great. Also, don't point it out. That's probably the last little thing. This sounds, I don't know. We always want perfect work, but don't point out the bad stuff, because what you see as bad, like it should be fine. I remember working at some auto places, and then like somebody would come in to have their like windows checked. They're like, hey, yeah, I had something that I'm not sure about. Sales guy would be like, yeah, sure, come on down. They'd finally walk outside with the customer, and then they're walking up to the car and they see something, and they're like, oh, this right here? And the customer's like, no, oh, but yeah, fix that too. I'm talking about this window over here. They never saw like the original, like what the salesperson saw. Wow. All right, so we got most of this squeegeed out with the bulldozer, and then for that final bottom, this is a really good one to kind of sneak in there. And hopefully we got most of that down. It's hard to stuff your head back there with a GoPro on it. But we'll check it out. Oh yeah, this corner right here. And then we got a little bit of air right there. So, so we want to go along here a little better. And then I'm hoping we're not butt up against an edge at the bottom. Oh, good. Okay, we're good. We just didn't squeegee there quite enough. And then you start to put like a little burn in your hand from scraping against the deck. You guys will love those. Oh. Dang, I didn't mean to spray that. Hopefully it doesn't stain it or anything. Well, it's not gonna like leave water spots. Whoa! No! Thank you. Yes. The last part was where it. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. First off, thank you so much for the 20. I need to find my big flat squeegee. Where did I put it?
Don't feel great about it, and yeah, I always point out small defects to customers.
Sorry. Once I there we go. Okay. There it is. Floor tiles are race deck. Go to racedeck.com. But Jose with the 20, this is more important. I always turn 3-hour jobs into 6-hour jobs redoing windows because of certain things, and sometimes I get frustrated and let certain things slide, but don't feel great. And yeah, I always point out small defects to customers. Stop with the last one. Don't point out small defects to customers. That's like you go buying, like I was saying, you going to buy a car, and then the dealership starts pointing out scratches and stuff in the paint. Like, they're just trying to make you happy, and just like they just want you out of their hair. So you obviously care a lot about the work that you're providing to your clients, and that's awesome. That makes you stand out a huge margin. Go look at some other shops in your area and what work they'll put out, and you'll just see real quick sometimes like what they'll pull out just to get numbers on the board. I mean, a lot of shops are just like, they don't even give their employees the time of day to get the work done properly, and they're just on to the next thing. So time is definitely the thing that is going to impact you a lot. You just don't always have time to make everything look as perfect as you want. Turning a 3-hour job into a 6-hour job, yeah, I've been there and I've done it. What helped me kind of speed up in an unfortunate way was literally being at those shops and not having time, and learning that they don't give a fuck, so why should I? I never sat well with that, which is why I have this place now. But there's this point where they'll call it like diminishing returns, where like you want to put out as flawless as a job as you can, but it's just, you either time's a factor, or the person that you're tending for doesn't care in a way, and you never know exactly what's okay and what's not. But you only have so much time for a job, so stick to always trying to get better and do the best you can with the time that you have, but don't get too far inside your head on like making it so flawless that it's just ruining the rest of your day. And it's hard to explain that in a way that might make sense to everybody, because it's like, you just be okay with not being perfect. Well, you kind of have to be, because this is an imperfect thing. So, but what might appear as a defect or problem to you, somebody genuinely might not even notice, or like just appreciate, like, wow, yeah, that looks great. You put a lot of time into it. Thank you. And then you move on to the next thing. So hopefully some of that made sense. But yeah, I would I would fight with the shop tooth and nail to try and make jobs look better, and then they just put more cars on the board and be like, well, we need to pay bills at the end of the day. So another thing that really impacts that, ooh, thank you. Oh, you guys don't give yourself enough credit. Washington with the 5, that's how I feel every time I'm done with the car. I'm never fully satisfied with my work, and I always see flaws and feel like shit. Damn. Don't feel like shit. You should feel better knowing that I guarantee you care way more about your own work than a good number of shops in your area. So the last thing that kind of that I want to make sure to get across is, like, you're not putting out bad work, but you're also you have to charge accordingly. So if you're going to spend 6 hours on a car and make it look amazing, you need to value your own time and not just like, hey, this car is worth $240 and I got it done in a couple hours and I'm going to spend 6 hours on this one and charge the same price. Like, if you're going to spend that type of work and time and effort and put that much care into it, you need to charge more, and you need to figure out how to get it across to people that you're not just an in and out tint shop. And you need to be able to find those clients that care about that. Because there are more people than not that are just like, yeah, I just want tint. Because it's just like, it's all the same, right? And you know, but you need to figure out a way to explain it to people. So I've seen a lot of those go hand in hand, where people get too critical on their own work and like think that their work is shit when it's really not. And then they end up charging less. And then it kind of, you put yourself in this really tough position where you're never charging enough to give yourself breathing room, because you always have to get more cars done to make your business work, because you're just taking much longer. Where somebody else is charging less, and then they're just like whipping out cars and they're just like, yeah, whatever, like I didn't charge enough to make this guy care about the job, when in reality it's the people with a little bit more spending money sometimes that, like, that goes into a whole nother thing. There's like this sweet spot where sometimes you'll charge too cheap and you'll get people that are too picky for what you're charging. You don't want to be in that position. I've been there. That just sucks. Do a Kia K5? We've done a couple. We have a full stream on a K5 actually. I don't know if it's been, I don't think it's been a GT line. I haven't heard of that one. But I imagine the windows are the same though. We actually just had installation video on K5 front doors. Hand cutting them and installing. Yeah, so it might seem sometimes like I'm really calm about tinting and I can make it look easy, and there's a good number of jobs where, like, I've done this before. I know, I've been in this situation, I know what I'm doing. But there are cars that I'll get that I'm just really nervous to stream, because it's just, like, I actually have one this Friday. I have a Porsche 922. It's a 95. And I would be on the fence of even taking it on, and then it got booked. So with a 922, it's just going to take a lot of time. And there's probably going to be scrap patterns and redos, and it's probably going to be frustrating for me, and it's going to be a hell of a day. So it's probably not going to be something I'm going to stream either, because it's just going to take a lot of time and work to do. But those things happen plenty of times to me. I usually stay on the other side of things, where I'm like less confident, and then when I knock something out, I'm like, yeah, cool. But I've been there plenty of times. You put out work, and then you're just watching the parking lot for it to leave, because you just hope that everything was okay. Doing windshield replacement on an F-150. Did somebody break the windshield tab? Do you do taillights? No. No, I did do my own on stream though. I did it on an Explorer. Taillights are more in line with vinyl wrapping than window tinting. Took me 10 hours to do. Ooh, yeah, that's a long time. Taillights are no joke. They're a totally different skill. Yeah, the first year with tint is your toughest, because you're learning all these things. You don't know what's acceptable, what's not. And then the better you get, like the more, if you really care about it, you can become really critical of your own work too. And it's just like, I didn't realize how many things kind of worked out in my favor with tinting, like being in so many unique situations, like doing mobile full-time, working at a shop that was low price and high production. Those are situations that I don't want for a lot of people, actually, like unless you want that type of business. But you learn a lot of things by dealing with different clients.
Alligator window tint super chatted $4.99. That's a 993, 911. That will not be that fun.
Oh wow, a couple good. Sorry, I was reading both of those.
Big following and are beautiful.
Whoa! Hang on, I'll throw this back down in a second. I just needed a break. Looks like we're basically all done with this. We have a couple little things for touch-ups. But 2 super chats back to back. Alligator with a 5. That's a 993, 911. That will not be fun. But great for marketing. I don't know if I want to market that one. Those have a big following and are beautiful. Yeah, I think it's a 922. It's definitely like a 95. It's not the 944, which I probably would have just outright, no, I'm not going to touch the 944. But yeah, thank you so much for the 5. I don't know how much Porsche traffic I want to stir up for the old ones. My buddy had a 944. Oh god, that thing. He got a bunch of quotes for tint for that too. It was funny. He's like, "Is it really this expensive?" Yeah, that card is. And then Jose with another 10. Your YouTube motivated me to start tinting, and it's the best decision I've made so far. I also wrap cars. I'm a barber, so I'm always paying attention to small details. That's why tinting has been so hard. Oh, very cool. Wow, you're kind of like, you do a whole bunch of stuff. Vinyl wrapping's real special too. I mean, you could be this full-time vinyl wrapper. And make a killing that way. Porsche people tend to spend good money. Oh, I almost missed the super chat here. Daniel with another 10, matching your 10, Jose. Hurrah! Well, I always appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, yeah, like, and there's ones like the Panamera that like I can do them. It's fine, and I've done a handful of them. They're all. Like, the McCann, that was just, like, a really frustrating day. And I think it was the situation that I was in that made it even more frustrating. Like, they were it was one of those that was like, oh, yeah, these 2 front doors take an hour, and then it's like, I got other work after it. Yeah, it just wasn't the proper situation for it. But I'll definitely keep that in mind. So we are doing ceramic on that 922. So I've done one. I did one, like, a long time ago. And then Jose with another 10. My son doesn't like GeoShield. We didn't have to spend $10 to say that. That's unfortunate, but that's okay. I mean, hey, that's why there's lots of different competition. Not everybody's going to use everything that I use, but I appreciate when people do. I just want people to make a good living for themselves. That's what's so fun about this, is like, oh my God, we got a super chat war. Matched. Daniel with another 10. Matched again. Hurrah. Thank you, sir. Yeah, that's why there's different options. Like, everybody has their own preferences and stuff like that.
Hurrah.
I mean, banned from channel for life. You don't use Geo, get out of here. Any alternative to Glass Aid? There's like, you can use pinstriping and double it up, and that'll help. That'll basically be a very similar thing. It takes extra time to like double it up and stuff like that, and it's still not going to be quite as thick. But pinstriping will help if you're going just after the bright white line. But in terms of like protecting the glass, there's like a few old school tricks that like you can Sharpie it, so you could like mark your pattern and then cut it on a glass board. So that's another way to not cut on the car and be really, really safe about it. Or use a little plastic button, put that in between the film and the glass. But nothing, like that's why I even made Glass 8 in the first place. Was like, there was nothing that I liked that worked for me. In like, cause I was, you know, hour and a half per car, I had shit to get done, and I'm at a glass shop with no glass boards. Like, come on. So, my background is everything gets done on the car, and that's usually how everything, you know, is. I worked in auto garages, and auto garages have dirty walls, shit everywhere, and poor lighting. Especially in the Detroit area. So, you just kind of learn to deal with everything, and what's the one thing that I can rely on? Oh, every car has the windows, and I can always rely on the car. Jose with a 5. That's my dad. I've been sending all chats about the questions. Oh shit, there's 2 Joses. Jose, Rios, and... Oh my god, the 78 is the difference. Holy shit, you guys are confusing the hell out of me. Oh, well, there's no way I'm going to remember that one. Thank you so much for the 5. That's great. Well, I hope it helped one of you guys. Maybe it's because you don't use Geo. That's the problem here. Where's my... What's your opinion on shaving versus leaving a really small gap? You know, I heard something really interesting, and that was sometimes filing will leave little burrs behind, and I never seen it in person. Always seen like pictures of it after the fact, or like a video of it, but I didn't know that. But I think leaving a hairline gap is perfectly fine. It's very, very minimal. You can get that butt up against the glass real close to the point where it's like you're not even gonna really be able to tell. So as long as you keep it pretty tight, you'll be fine. But there is a heavy respect for making it seamless, and it's one of those things where it's like, if you didn't point it out and you're not really looking for it, I don't think most people would even think about it, because they just want a good tint job. They just like, yeah, whatever you do to make them not notice anything is like you're doing a good job, like a VFX artist. A good VFX artist is like you don't necessarily even notice what they did. So I actually just bought I saw a video and I bought a sander, a mini belt sander. So we're going to be playing around with that. And instead of using a file and instead of using a blade, which haven't necessarily worked out for me all that well, I have a mini belt sander, and that looked like it was the easiest way to achieve the exact same look, and possibly better. Thanks for all the advice. You're very welcome.
78 Rios super chatted $4.99. Son, speak up why you don't like
with
Geo.
the 5. Son, speak up why you don't like Geo. Oh, this is great. I've heard some people having issues with shaving the top. I don't know I want to deal with that. I've tried the file and I'm not a huge fan. Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but anyways. Yeah, so I'll show you guys the sander here in a minute. Actually, I can run out and grab it. Let me grab my keys. What time is it? 12:30? Okay, we're gonna wrap up here pretty soon. I got 1 o'clock is gonna be here, but this is basically all set. We were just diving in and out. I'm gonna run out here. and grab, I think it's in here. I have a few little things, actually. Really? There we go. Good God. Oh, it's not there. That's where the shelf is. This stuff. And this. Ah! We got some goodies. Should probably unbox some of this stuff here. So, for those of you that are just tuning in too, my power's been out for 2 weeks because somebody fried the shit out of the electrics. Somebody, like, literally, they drove a box truck and they ripped the power line clean off because it was hanging lower. And then this building was without power for 2 weeks, so I planned a vacation at the perfect time. Weird, happy coincidence. But I saw a video, so I bought me one of these. This is a mini belt sander. So we're not going to use this today, but this thing looked really useful. I bought some extra blades for it. So basically the idea is real simple. This thing spins really fast, and then you just take it across the top of the window and go, files it off. It's obviously too big to get into tight corners, so you're going to have to do something else about that. But the idea here, especially for frameless windows, like Teslas and Mustangs and just other stuff like that, this might be a really, really good option. So I wanted to buy one to play around with it. And then I know they've sent these to a bunch of people now at this point. The new dash protector. I never used the first one, but they sent me the dash protector. So we're gonna have to play around with that and see if it's any good. And then there's a couple things here that I want to put a little bit of special time for. So we're gonna save that for another video. One's the slinger tool belt, and then I guess we could do this one. I wanted to give a special shout out for this one though. This is super cool. This was from the window tinting queen. This is a really, really nice mug, custom printed with her like caricature logo that the graphic designer Carrie did a really nice job on. So it looks super cool. So thank you very much for that. I got home from vacation and I just got like a whole bunch of stuff in the mail. So we'll have to use coffee in that one here pretty soon. But yeah, this thing especially I kind of want to give a little special attention to because I want to try it out and give my thoughts on it and stuff. So we'll save that because it looks like they put a fair amount of work into it. A little Tintwish special edition thing. Do you tell your clients to be done in 3 hours? You send a notification they'll be done in like 30 minutes? That would be really smart to do. Give them a heads up. Because like you always shoot for a little bit longer than you think that it's going to take. That way, in case anything happens, you give yourself a little bit of extra time. And then, yeah, giving them a little notification like, hey, I'll be done in 30. What you want to be careful on is saying that you'll be done really soon, and then you run into a mistake. That's the only thing I would caution. I always am a little bit more careful because I'm like, yeah, I can give you a heads up right like when it's close to done. And then like you're on that last window and you see something that needs to be redone, and then they walk through the door and you're like, oh shit, I gotta redo something, and they're here now. No fun. But I'll usually let them know right after, or they're watching this. Sometimes they'll be watching the stream and they'll just kind of know. But if I'm trying to get out of here earlier, I definitely will give a heads up. Dang! This thing looks good. So we did 20% ceramic all the way around. Nothing on the windshield. Not yet anyways, maybe in the future. once they feel the ceramic. And that's pretty much it for today. Next stream, yeah, let's figure that out. I gotta use the mouse. Whoa. Had a Hyundai yesterday, and the tint kept sticking to the glass. Use more soap, but still did the same thing. Any suggestions? Might be a hydrophobic coating issue. That can definitely happen. So try and get the glass cooler, but I mean, if you sprayed it a bunch of times, that definitely would help keep the glass cooler. Something like, there's a product called Squeegee Monkey, and then also ATR helps with hydrophobic coatings as well. So hang on a second here. Let's see if I can work some magic. I have it sitting at home in my garage. I keep forgetting it to bring it into the shop, but excuse me. All right, let's bring this up here. So, Sun Distributing has this is actually their own product here. So this is a hydrophobic coating remover. And you love how they do this little alpha as the pointer if you use it on desktop. So this is a glass scrub. I used to use this a lot. I don't use it hardly anymore. But if I was running into hydrophobic coatings, I would definitely try scrubbing them down with something like that. And then the next thing that people have said actually helps a lot with hydrophobic coatings, if that's the case, that's really the only thing that I could imagine it being. Or it's just it just happens to be how the glass is on that particular car, was ATR. So this stuff right here. I use Awesome or ATR. They're my favorite adhesive removers, but people have said this stuff helps with adhesive or hydrophobic coatings too as well. So any of those, check those out. Here. Look, and then boop. There you go. There's a link for it. Oh, that's trippy. Pow! Alrighty. Well, I got another appointment walking in here pretty soon, so I'm going to have to jump on that here in a minute. And next stream is tomorrow. Tomorrow at 10. Somebody was excited about their appointment, so I guess we're going to stream tomorrow at 10. So that'll be a thing. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. We stream here a little bit more, it looks like, because I'm here now 6 days a week. So no more glass shop, no more packing up and hauling it all over. I actually get to spend some time and like organize. I got all that dyed film over there that I got to find a space for. We have more shelving that I got to put up. My goal was to make it like a display wall. But it looks like I just filled up my toolbox instead. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Y'all have a good one. Somebody asked, how do you deal with dust? Usually it's more technique rather than environment, but keep airflow down to a minimum. If you have lots of dust floating around, you need to figure out a way to like cut down airflow and then let it settle. That's the number one thing. All right, in the meantime, you can hang out in the Facebook group, say hi, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.